Now, owning the YouTube channel, you get contacted by quite a few companies, especially if a channel like mine where I review a lot of camera gear. And sometimes it's really nice to help the small companies and give them exposure on YouTube, because a lot of people will say no because they're a small company and it's not that interested in the product. And then other times you get a company like this, which is a company called Freewell, which make these unique filters, basically ND filters, which I use all the time for photography and also for my video work. Now, I'm not a fan of a variable ND. I don't like them. I've got a couple of them that I don't actually use. I've tried them and I don't go on very well with them. I'd rather use a solid ND and then adjust my ISO to suit the exposure I want. So I can keep my T-stop or f-stop where I want, and my shutter speed, obviously if I'm shooting 25p, then it'll be around about 50 of a second. I will keep it there, and then I will change the ISO to match the ND that I've got on there, and that works really well for me. I've never had a problem with that. I just don't personally like variable NDs. I know a lot of people do like them, but I tend to get some weird artifacts sometimes and it ruins the video, so I go for a solid ND. Now, Freewell sent me these two filters. This is an ND 3.0 filter, or an ND 1000, which is basically a 10-stop filter or a big stopper, if you're a leaf filter guy like I am. Which is really good for long exposures or really bright sunny days. Now, the big stopper or 10-stop filter, which is what this is really good if you're doing a photo and you want to make everybody disappear in the photo, because you can do, like in the middle of the day, a 2 or 3 minute exposure, and basically all the people moving will just disappear, which is really nice. I'm not going to be talking about this one at the moment because I'm not going to be able to get out because we're still in lockdown in New Zealand, and this will be more for landscape work, but I will do a future test on that. So remember to subscribe to the channel, and then hopefully in a couple of months when things get a little bit better in New Zealand, I can get out and I can actually test this big stopper or 10-stop filter. So let's talk about this filter, which is an ND32 PL filter. This is a hybrid filter. Now, the ND32 means this is 5 stops. It will make your image 5 stops darker, and the PL is a polarizer. So it has 2 filters in one, basically. And what the polarizer will do, will give you a bit more punch to your video or your photos, and having the ND filter means you can shoot at a shallower depth of field and keep your shutter speed quite low. Like if you're shooting video, you're shooting 50 per second, if you're shooting 25p like I do, and this will allow me to have a shallower depth of field with this filter. So these filters are quite unique. I don't think I've ever seen another filter like these actually. They actually come in a very nice case. Let's get rid of the box. Oh, actually, I've got to take something out of the box. Right, I'll put that there. Right, they come in this really nice case. Sorry, I'm gonna pull off that plastic. Right, now you'll see the filter in there. Now this is not your normal screw-on filter. Now they're 77mm, so I'm going to show you on my GH5 and my 25mm T2.2 Meike lens. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. If you want to know more about this cinema lens for Micro Four Thirds, there'll be a link down in the description to the video I did last week talking about this lens. It's an incredibly good lens, but this is actually a 77mm front filter thread, so it's going to be great to show you this on here. So what you get in the box is the filter with another filter below it. So there's actually 2 filters here. Now, the actual top filter is magnetic. It doesn't screw on. Now, what they do give you in these kits, which is quite nice, this is a clear filter, or UV filter, some people call them. The clear filter will go on, you screw it onto there, but I'm not going to use the clear filter because I don't use clear filters on my lenses, because it's just another piece of glass you add into this incredibly good glass. But what you do get in the kit, which is quite nice, is you get a little tiny catalogue of other lenses that they do. You get some QR codes, which I haven't done anything with them. You get a cleaning cloth, and you get this adapter. So this is a screw-on adapter with no glass. See, there's nothing in the middle of it. So basically, you screw that on. And if you're a Canon user, you'll like this because it's got this really nice red ring around it, which actually does match this Meike lens too. So as you can see, I've got this screwed in to a 77mm filter. Now, this ND just does that, and that's it. It's not going to come off. It ain't going anywhere, look. And then you just pull it off. And that's it. It's as easy as that. So I can go from indoors and go outdoors, just whack it on without screwing nothing on. And it even comes with this magnetic lens cap, which works really well. Now in the kit, you'll get a clear filter, a filter adapter basically, so you can attach the magnetic filter to your lens without having any glass in it, so there's nothing in there. And you get your ND. So basically you just put this on, like that, screw it in, you see? So there you can't even tell you've got it on ready. And then your filter just locks on. There. And because this is a polarizer, you can actually turn it. It turns quite smooth on there as well. So you can adjust the contrast or get a bit more punch to your video or your photo by using that. But it just comes off. And it goes on. And it doesn't come off, look. It ain't go. There's a lot of rattling inside that GH5, but it doesn't come off. The nice thing with this is I can just take it off when I need it and just whack it on. And it's on there. It's not going anywhere. And it's a really nice filter. Now, the quick test that I've done with this filter, I can't find any shift in color, which is nice. And I can't find any problem with sharpness. There's no loss of sharpness at all. With this lens, with this filter, there's no loss of sharpness at all, which is really nice, because that's one thing that would worry me if you were buying a filter system and you do lose a bit of sharpness and you get color shift. In photos, that's okay. If you're shooting raw, you can adjust it. But in video, it's very hard to adjust. It takes a lot of work to get rid of that color shift, and you don't want to lose sharpness in the video. And with the GH5, which shoots incredibly good video, then I don't want to lose any of that. But these filters are incredibly good. This here is the PL 5-stop filter, and then exactly the same that comes in the other box. This is basically a 10-stop filter, so really good for long exposures. Now again, the nice thing with something like this is if you've ever done long exposures and you use your live view on your camera, you set everything up, get the focus right, and then you've got to screw in the filter on the front, because obviously it's very hard to compose your image if you've got a 10-stop filter on the front. A lot of people will compose the image and then screw the filter on, but with this, it's on and it's done. It's much easier. And again, like I said, the quality of these filters is really good. Now, I will test this 10-stop in a couple of months maybe. It's not going to be in a few weeks because we're still in lockdown here in New Zealand. We go into level 3, I think, in a few days, but that's still going to restrict me quite a lot. And to be truthful, I don't really want to go out. So in a couple of months, I will actually test this 10-stop in photography long exposures. I'll probably go out to one of my favorite waterfalls actually. We'll do some seascapes with this filter, and I will talk about this filter a bit more. So that was this quick video covering these new filters I've been sent from a company called Freewell. This is an ND32, and I have a 10-stop ND filter as well. Now obviously I can't test these at the moment. Hopefully in the next few months after we come out of lockdown, I can get out and test these in the real world. So remember to subscribe and hit that little bell icon, and you'll get a notification when that video comes out, so you can find out more information, because I will give you the good and the bad on these filters, if there are any bad, obviously, and what I think of them. That will be my genuine opinion, like with all my videos. As always, thank you so much for watching. So what you get in the box